ให้กูเขา
เรียบร้อยแล้วครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon from Thailand. Good morning to all European audience today. Today, my name is Rungpet Chitanwat. I'm Group Director for the Food Ingredients Portfolio in ASEAN. So we are going to attend in this webinar number 2, episode 2, which is about understanding your consumer in this pandemic and strategy toward the food and beverage strategy. So I would like to bring you in this digital webinar, which is organized by Informa Markets, and to support the postponement of the show Food Ingredients Asia 2020 in Jakarta to be in December. So this webinar, we get the very well-known speaker from Thailand. He is the professor, assistant professor, Dr. Pisit Thammawithi. He is the Vice Dean of Faculty of Agricultural Product Innovation and Technology from Srinaklin Virod University. I would like to thank you, Dr. Pisit, for this webinar that he's going to share how you should understand your consumer and what is the strategy moving forward in this pandemic. Welcome, Dr. Pisit. สวัสดีค่ะ
Good evening, everybody. ขอบคุณ and thank you, คุณ Rose or คุณ Rungpet Chitanwat for kindly invitation me to join with this webinar. Okay, and I think this one is quite good time, okay, for informer and all audience, because I think this one is look like the technology adoption for Informa to work about the webinar for all of us today. Okay, before we going to our presentation, okay, thank you again for all audience from Indonesia, from Philippines, from Thailand, okay, and I think maybe from Vietnam also, I think, and every country, okay. Okay, for this topic, okay, understanding consumer and proactive strategy for COVID-19 crisis, especially for food industry perspective, okay. It's not only the review work, because these work and this finding from our research that we have done in last month, okay, this survey make us to understanding more about our consumer in terms of how to set up the strategy for your business for the COVID-19 crisis. Okay, I will show you what about today we'll cover this one. Okay, exactly. I will show you about the COVID-19 situation that we have to understand first. If you understand already, okay, I will show you for our research finding. This means that Thai consumer behavior during COVID-19 is quite very interesting. And the next one is, I think, who running the business or entrepreneur. Okay, you gonna wait for the what next and what do you want to prepare for your business. This is quite important things. Okay, we will start for the first one is the COVID-19 situation. As we already know, COVID-19 situation in Thailand is already done until in the third phase of the COVID-19. This is a good news for Thailand that we have the 0 new cases in Thailand. I think it's quite good for our country that we got the news from the WHO or WHO to give us about the congratulations for Thailand that we have the 0 new cases in Thailand. It's quite good system for the public health. And this confirmed that the statistics that show these graph and these map, okay, This one is, they show us about the most prepared country, more prepared country, and the less prepared country. But exactly, Thailand is most prepared. It's like York in Asia that we can do that thing is quite good, and we have a lot of congratulations from other country, and including WHO. Exactly. Okay, and we're gonna move to the second one of us is quite interesting, Thai consumer behavior. This, I will extract the research findings that will show you what's going on about the Thai consumer behavior. Okay, that we concluded about the top 5 spending of the Thai consumer during COVID-19 time. Okay, the first one that you can guess, e-commerce. What about the e-commerce? It look like the people shopping online. Okay, and they also buy a lot of things. Why the e-commerce is quite interesting? That the first one of the spending of the people, because they has been locked down at home. So lots of people, okay, bought a lot of things from the e-commerce. And the second one is a supermarket, that the supermarket that's still alive because they have a lot of food, a lot of necessary things in the supermarket. And the third one is quite very interesting sector, that the food delivery. Okay, it's quite interesting. I will give you more information in next slide. And the fourth one is a mobile and tablet is also because the people interesting about the news and updating the data from government, from anyone, okay, who give us about the information. And last one is a fast food. This is a finding for our research. Okay, this graph will show you about the local spending in Thailand that start from before COVID-19. During COVID-19 and after COVID-19 is quite interesting data. And if you look at the blue one, the blue graph, okay, it shows you about the supermarket is quite high of spending, okay? And e-commerce, mobile tablet, and fast food, they look equal. And the food delivery is quite low before COVID-19 time. After that, during COVID-19 is quite very interesting. If you look at the red one, okay, for the food delivery is quite interesting data. Is from the 16 to 60 is quite huge for increasing number. So food delivery is quite growing a lot for the during COVID-19 time, and e-commerce is also, okay, and mobile tablets just a little bit. And supermarket is going down a little, and fast food is going down a little bit. And the last one, if we talking and if we ask them about after COVID-19, what do you want to spend your money, okay? And it's also food delivery is still high. High for what? If we compare with before COVID-19, food delivery is still higher, maybe 100% before, okay? And just other sector a little bit high and low, okay? For example, like supermarket is still back, like the same as before COVID-19. Then we asked them about COVID-19 impact on your income or not. Exactly, they tell us about most and more. This is quite very impact, maybe 75% of the impact for their income. Okay, it's quite a lot. Okay, what else about effect from COVID-19 for their life? Exactly, the first one is income. Okay, it's quite interesting. And the second one is transportation. Why they talking about the transportation is impact? Because they cannot go anywhere because they has been locked down at that time. Okay, quite tough. And if they would like to go to somewhere else by using the public transport, maybe the contamination is quite the concern effect. And the third one is the social. Okay, it's quite hard to see like a physical distancing that the policy from public health, so you have to concern about the social. For the health, we're talking about COVID-19, but the people concerned about the health in fourth number. It's not the first number that we guessed in the first time. And the family is quite, we have time about our family also. Okay, when we ask them about what do you want to see in COVID-19 crisis, 72% of the people tell us about no more patient. But at this time, Thailand, we reached this standard already. Okay, we have 0 new cases in Thailand. It's quite good news. That thank you, doctor, and thank you for our public health in Thailand. It's quite good. So, and ask them about what do you want to do after COVID-19 crisis. 31% maybe they would like to have the traveling. Why they're talking about the traveling? I think most of people feel stressed. So they're feeling like missing about the sea, missing about the traveling. So they love it. So they would like to have the traveling again. I think this one is quite interesting data. And the blue, one and the purple one is maybe also same with the traveling. It means work and business together. It's not only work, they work and business together. And if we link together and plus here, the purple one is a self-development. This one is quite interesting data that the people think about they like not secure as a before COVID-19. So they would like to have the business together with their work, and they would like to do like a self-development, like a short course and training and workshop also. This one is quite very interesting data. And work as usual is, we know already, they would like to work as usual. And then from our Thai consumer behavior, what you're gonna do next about your business and your work, okay? If you can categorize about the situation of COVID-19 and adaptation, okay? This one is people, and maybe in Thailand, maybe in March, okay? We already know about maybe February or March, we already know about the abnormal. This means uncertainty. At that time, we never know before about the COVID-19. So everything uncertainty, so it means abnormal, because we cannot do anything else like we can do it as before. And then we learn something more about the COVID-19, that we know that we have to use the mask, we use about the face shield, we use about the PPE, so we can try the new abnormal. We can manage our risk, okay, to protect ourselves, to protect our business, okay, from the COVID-19. After we learn more and learn more until now time, okay, before we going to the return to the normal or new normal again. Now, what do you want to do? We have to recover again, because if we don't know how to recover, it's quite tough, because this one is not normal time. It's mean the crisis. So we have to understand about the recovery, how to recover. And then if we already have the vaccine, okay, we can start with the certainty situation, is mean new normal again. What about this picture? This picture tells us about the COVID-19 is here. And this one is our city, our country, our home here. Okay, we understand about COVID-19 more, okay, when comparing with last 3 months ago. After that, we now time here, maybe we thinking and concerning about the recession economics, and we maybe from some institution tell us about Thailand maybe have the recession economic maybe minus 6.8% maybe. And the bigger than the recession crisis, maybe we have to thinking about the climate change. This one is maybe the three situations that the people have to concern more about the crisis in the world. It's not only the COVID-19 time. So if you think a lot about the problem, and if you would like to return, how to make it work, and what to stop, and what to start, and what to accelerate, okay? The right-hand side will show you about what worked before, and the left-hand side, the green one, show you about what needs to happen in the future, okay? And previous time we work as a work at office, but now I think all of us maybe work from home and remote work. So in my opinion, I think work out for myself maybe more than the previous time already, I think. And the second one is style of work. I think in the office, most of work still silo-based work. And when we work, after that, the networks and teamwork may be very interesting work style. And the third one is supply chain. What about the supply chain? I think they're from farm to table, and your work may be understanding about the supply chain already. At that time, the just-in-time is quite the theory about the talking about the supply chain. At this time, we not talking about only the just-in-time. We're talking about the just-in-case. What about the just-in-case? Because at that time, we're talking about just-in-time in case of the cost or effective of cost that we operate the system. But in this time, we're not only talking about the just-in-time. Just-in-case is concerned about the how to manage the risk, okay, risk from the health, risk from anything else in COVID-19. And environment, okay, that before we're talking about just do it. Environment is okay, that's nice to know. But now we have to focus on the sustainability as your business strategy. This one is concerned more about the sustainability also. The channel, someone talking about the online commerce is quite very interesting and quite very important things. But the contact-free economy and together with the O2O business, online to offline and offline to online also may be quite interesting business model. And how to returning. At that time, maybe well before we understand about simply returning is maybe quite easy. But at this time, I think we understand already about returning, have to concern more about reimagination, this reimagining. Why we have to talking about reimagining? Because we quite hard to see together as a physical one. We work as a digital one. So the reimagination is also very important thing for your business if you would like to work with your consumer. Then we're talking about how to define the next normal for Thai food industry. What about next normal of us? First one, now the Western countries still have a lot of new cases, right? So the macro impact, we're talking about Asia first. Like China is the first country that we already know that they came back, okay, in the world of the commercialization and world of trade. And the second one, the new global supply chain, right? For the global supply chain, we would like to have the supply chain, quite short supply chain, and make sure that supply chain is quite safe enough. And the local consumption in your country and around your country is quite very important things. For the micro impact, cash is king. Cash is king because the liquidity of the business is quite very, very important at this time. And the digital platform and marketplace is a channel for your business. So you have to keep focus. Who is you? Know who is quite very important thing. Know who may be more important than the know-how now. Okay, know who and know yourself. Okay, keep focus and agility model or agile model to work with, because we don't know exactly how long about the COVID-19. So we have to agile team. And then individual impact. Most of people use the social network is a mainstream, okay? Not alternative way. It's a mainstream already. So the advertising and work and content maybe use the social network a lot. Today we use the live from the YouTube, live from the digital one already. And they concern about economics that we talk already about the recession economics. Then I will give you for 3 keys to success for Thailand food industry in the next normal. You can guess, I think. The first one is what? First one is food security and sustainability. It's not only the number or the amount of food that you already have, but we're talking about the quality and accessibility and together sustainability of your food. That means your health also. The second one is individualized solution. You have to give the solution for your personalized user, because for the socialization, I think the social media, they use their Facebook, they use their Instagram, maybe differently, okay? So the individualized, if you have the data of your consumer, is quite very important thing to design the solution for your user as well. And the last one I will give you for technological adoption. Today, we not see together as a physical one, okay? We see as a digital one. So technological adoption is quite very important things for this term and for after this term, and together with the new business model. It's not only the same way of product, okay? We have to generate a new business model to catch up your business work and your value, okay? Again and again. And lesson learned for COVID-19. We learn what? COVID-19 is a key to lead you to know what? First one, to know what do you want. You know already now, what do you want? What do you have to do? Okay? This one is what do you want. The second one, why we have to do it. If we don't do it, you will die or not, or you will anything else. Okay, you can tell yourself and you can answer yourself. I think you understand more. And how we can do it, it depends on your experience and your network to work together, how it's work, right? Okay, thank you, my team. Okay, Assistant Professor Aranya, Assistant Professor Wasini, Assistant Professor Pantipa, work with me, okay, about our research finding today. Thank you very much for all audience to join with us today. And I think all of you maybe know something that we already have, okay, and share with you today. If you need more information, please leave your message with us, okay, from this QR code. I will give you for more information.
Thank you,
okay,
Dr.
thank you very much again.
I think we have a lot of questions from the audience on the live chat. And Chandisekar, can you please explain again on the slide of COVID-19 impact on your income? Slide number 8, I have the audience asking.
Okay, again, please. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Slide number 8. Just a moment, please. Right? Right?
Yes, the audience want to know about the meaning of more and more.
I think this one is it's like the severity of impact, okay, about the income for your life. That they tell us about it's quite most impact and more impact about the COVID-19 impact on their income. Okay, maybe also maybe more and more, maybe equally, maybe 75%. So we understand more about the people, okay, got the impact from COVID-19 on their income.
ค่ะDr. Pisikat, the other question would be the question refer to most of your slide, the bar axis, like y axis. What does it mean? I would understand it's about the correspondence
Bar
number.
axis.
The y axis.
Which one?
I think it's a line on the effect from COVID-19. The
Effect.
bar y. Yeah.
Okay.
The question is, what does
Okay.
y stand represent?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. This is a bar y. Y-axis tell you about the like a percent, okay, of impact from the COVID-19 that they think in their perception. This is comparing. It's not equal to 100%. It's not equal to 100% for all of these things. Okay. It means it's quite very high as impact. Okay. Income is a quite very important things for them that they're thinking about what we're talking about the COVID-19 impact for what. Okay. The income is quite very interesting for them.
So that is also the reason that the spending still going on, but there is a shift in spending from fast food to be the e-commerce or to be in the supermarket. That is right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So come to the next question. I would ask from the audience on the live chat. How does Thai Consumer Report, mean your study, will relate to other ASEAN markets? What do you think?
In my opinion, I think the Thailand and other country in ASEAN maybe I think it's not very big difference because it depends on your situation of COVID-19 also. Okay, and Thailand maybe we can reach the standard about the zero new cases in Thailand first, and then we can adapt. Okay, something like the life and the COVID-19 already. But I think all countries in ASEAN can do that things very soon. Okay, if we look at the Thailand data, you can you can adjust. Okay, something is maybe same, but I think differently. It mean it like only speed, right? But I think maybe totally maybe same. Okay, you can do that thing in the same way. You can do, I think.
Next question would be how the food service can survive after pandemic.
Okay, if we're talking about the food service now, the problem is it's quite hard to eat at the restaurant, right? So we have to manage the risk at the restaurant. So the restaurant is physical aspect that we're talking about, right? So the food service have to prepare about the digital one also, like O2O or offline to online and online to offline. But the first thing that we talking that things before we going that to the digital one, we have to understand about the liquidity of the business or the cash is king. So you have to recover about your revenue first, your revenue. And you have to rethinking about your work. It's not only the physical one, you have to thinking about the digital one that you have to focus about your customer first. Right.
There is a question again in the live asking,
Okay.
what is your recommendation on how, if there is the audience from the food service industry, I believe they want to know, and then how would you be more specific in recommending them?
Okay. If the specific recommendation is first one is start with your recover your revenue first. Recover your revenue. This is the first one. The second one is rebuilding your operation system. Is it still work or not? If it's not work, you have to adjust something like a safety also. The third one is rethinking about your organization. Only the physical one or together with the digital one, okay? And how to do that thing and what you want to do. And the fourth one is adoption about the technology together with your work and plus with the reimagination with your business model. This one is, I think, cover your food service sector that you have to concern.
So I will say that if any audience has a question, you can have more putting in the chat live now. I will pick in that. But right now, to inform Dr. Pisit, I will pick up the question related to the food service first. Then the next step, we will go to the food manufacturers, because otherwise the audience will get confused with my question. So the next one would be, how can the food entrepreneurs, this question from pre-webinar, it's about how can the food entrepreneurs deal for better amid COVID-19. I would try to understand the question. Question is about how the entrepreneur should prepare after COVID-19.
Okay, for the next. Okay, I think I try to balancing about the SME and together with the startup, okay, for the food entrepreneurship, right? The first thing you have to understand about who is your target or your persona. If you understand more about your persona, you have to know about what their pain point. Okay, same with the before COVID-19 or not. If they have the pain point or the new pain point after COVID-19, you have to get the new solution or not. That this solution, you have to generate a business model, okay, to create the value for your customer. Digital or physical is up to your target. It's not only up to you, okay. This is one you try to adapt and use the agility model or agile model. Okay, adaptation this week and next week and adapt also.
All right, so that's for sure to the audience who asked the question, you need to understand your own service, food service, and try to see how well you can adjust in order to cope up with the situation. You have the less customer to your shop and how to even do your branding and promote your restaurant to be well perceived. It as very safe and we have the better health and safety concern for consumer. That's it. Yeah. From that point, doctor, there is a question coming up on what about your idea on the risk management that if they are the food service in the restaurant, what kind of risk you suggest them to relook at?
The first risk should be health risk. The health risk for your employee and your customer together. Okay, this one is the first risk. If you can manage, for example, like in Thailand, in Thai restaurant now, okay, one table you can sit down only 2 guys. Okay, this one the health concern. Okay, the next one, if you have only the 2 guys in one table, so the number of plate, number of dish on that table may be reducing. It means next risk, right? Because your income is maybe decreasing a lot, maybe 50% at least, right? If you have only the physical business model, this one is quite risk for you. You have to reimagination to have the other sector of your consumer. Is a digital one or not, or take home or not, right? It means increasing about your opportunity to do it again and again. This one increasing about your revenue.
Yeah, not only the income and revenue for you to survive, you have to check your physical of your restaurant. If the
Right.
restaurant is by, like for Thailand, we have to control one table can be one person, or the distance should be 1.5 meters. So to
Right.
the food service and restaurant, like Dr. Pisit said, you have to consider on the size of the dish. The more
Right.
you can fit in, the consumer will order you. That's
Right.
what I
Right.
say. And definitely to diversify your business into digital or online delivery. Now it's come to question. I think you are working a lot. I share my idea that I work with Dr. Visit for about 4 or 5 years already. He is helping the traditional products to become the product ready to eat, ready to meet in the market. So this question really fit to that your specialist. They ask like, if I am the traditional restaurant, how I can become digital restaurant?
I think it's not only the digital at this time. If you understand more about your target, okay, user, you have to understand them, okay, about the adaptation of your user. They still need to have the your food as a physical or digital one, okay. For the traditional Thai restaurant, I think they believe you about your quality of food already, but how to deliver your food to your customer. This is a way to do, I think, and manage the cost and effective of your cost at this time is quite interesting for traditional Thai restaurant at this time, I think.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Pisit. And now we will come to the question that is about the industry level, not only food service. Go to the processing level. So that is the question in related to ingredients, which is very technical. I would ask now is what immunity boosting ingredients being used in food industry in the light of current crisis? I would say like the most picking up ingredient that people consider as a immunity boosting.
It's, I think, fortunately for Thailand and every country in AEC, because we have a lot of biodiversity in AEC. So, for example, like a fruit, vegetable, and especially for herbs, okay, we have a lot of things around AEC, okay, Thailand and Indonesia and some places. So we can use it as a raw material to boost up your immunity system. We already have a lot of research to prove that the fruit and vegetable and together the herbs can boost up your immunity system also quite very good. For example, like some fruit, okay, at this time, mango, orange, and so on, I think, and spice, you can use it as a boost up your immune system. It's quite good.
Okay, that would be about the ingredient you mentioned about herbs, about health. And in last episode, Dr. Pa Adi is focusing on the health products, customer focus on the food safety products. What your idea about the challenge and solution that the processed food industry gonna facing with shelf life? People will look for to have more longer shelf life or shorter shelf life. How you see?
I think we still have a lot of country that they facing with the problem from COVID-19 and together with the lockdown. Okay, so from the lockdown, from every country, they need food. For example, like a shelf-stable food. So this is a opportunity. The crisis is a new opportunity for the food system also. If we can do that thing in the like the shelf-stable food to the right channel, you can penetrate to the new market. It's quite very interesting time to do that way. And the Western country, they is quite tough to produce the food at this time. For the Asian country is your time. right? This is your time, I think. Do that way.
So come to the, I think there are about 7-8 questions more. It's about the consumer behavior effect by COVID on beverage industry. I would say that this question might be not be from the Thai consumer, but for the Thai consumer, you can give the perspective because now one type of beverage like alcohol is prohibited to selling during this COVID. How you see the effect on the that part and the general beverage?
For general beverage, I think they still have a lot of opportunity because some of the beverage they're from the fruits and vegetable and together some herbs. If we can develop the new formula and new product to get the boost up your immune system is quite interesting product at this time. And after COVID-19, I think we cannot guarantee, okay, right? Because we still don't have the vaccine, right? So the type of food and together with a beverage that they can boost up your immune system. This one is quite very important and very interesting thing product, I think. And if you have the clinical trial and the proof from the laboratory to prove that thing can boost up your immune is quite good.
So can we say that the food industry moving toward the health concern type of food?
Right.
So this is a great opportunity for us to know at least what our consumer look for and make it more healthy. Not only fresh things that people are consumer look for, but now people even look at food safety of the fresh products. So developing by using process would help them to increase the demand from consumer. Okay. So the next one, doctor, it's about your idea on the consumer trends after pandemic from what you ever showed the study you have done on the pattern change. So now from the food industry for the manufacturer level, what do you think about the trends that you could see from your study?
Okay, and I think this time still VUCA or VUCA and I think you can heard also already about VUCA is a turbulence, everything. So the mega trend is still, I think, is quite same, but the differently is COVID-19 is quite catalyst of reaction that we can increasing the speed of the reaction, right? And health and safety is quite interesting and quite key factor for the food industry. And I gave you already, if you plus for the health and safety together with the 3 keys that I gave you from the slide. The first one is food security, right? It's not only the quantity of food that we're talking about the quality and together accessibility and sustainability of food. And the second one is what is individualization of your customer. And the third one is technology adoption and business model. It's quite very important for the food industry.
Okay, if the audience who ask this question, if you're not clear, you can contact Dr. Pisit. I think that would be the question that with more detail in order to plan your business model. Okay. So the next one would be about, there is the audience here, they are supplying to Thailand. Most of the products is like cornstarch, potato starch, or even the onions. The question is, how would you see the improvement on the demand of the products import to Thailand for the food industry? You see that the shift in, because now it's stable or even drop a bit. You see that now Thailand is 0 case. Do you think that it will picking up, or how you see overall F&B in terms of import products from outside?
In my opinion, I think this time Thailand is quite okay for the investment. And Thailand, they think like not only produce the food for Thai people, we produce a lot of food for everywhere in the world, especially for CLMV. CLMV, you know, Myanmar, Laos, Vietnam, and Cambodia. Okay, and if you look at the data about CLMV country, it's quite low number of cases of patients from the COVID-19. It's quite interesting data. If we can produce a lot of food from Thailand and several country about CLMV country, we can export a lot of food to that country. So this one is quite huge opportunity for food industry to produce quite interesting product to that country. So they have a quite limited number of problems. I think it's quite few cases from the COVID-19 in that country.
All right, come to the question. I think that would be your experience during Thailand was hitting the fighting with the coronavirus about during April. The question is, as now Thailand is 0 case of COVID, what do you think is the best practice and control on the food and beverage side that Thailand did? And can you give advice for them, like if now they are yet to be the peak of the fighting? So what you see and what you think it can be the replicate things to do in that country?
First of all, I have to say thank you for doctor and public health of Thailand. This is quite good and say thank you a lot. And I think the first up thing that we have to concern more about personal hygiene. The personal hygiene is quite very important things for people, every people. But I think all of us, maybe from the graduate from food scientists or not, I think related. I think you understand more about the food hygiene, personal hygiene a lot. If you can manage about the personal hygiene, it's quite good. I think you can reduce the risk, okay, from the COVID-19 as well. For the systematic of your country, okay, you have to believe your public health system. You have to believe your doctor, okay? They can tell you about how to do that things. You cannot do this thing. If you believe them, it's okay. And everything gonna be better and better and better, I think. And I think the data is not only your country. They're comparing with other countries at the same time. So they try to learn together about the systematic of the public health. So you have to trust your doctor.
Come to one question. Actually, I should be the one who answer it better, but I would say like this. The question is it safe to visit Food Ingredient Asia 2020? So I would say that on behalf of Informa Markets, we are going to do a lot of control measure for making it as a controlled gathering for the exhibition. However, we are complying with the Indonesian government on health and safety, and Informa has our standard to implement to that. So when closer to the show, we can share to you in more detail on the measurement that I would do that. Of course, we also will have Dr. Pisit with us to share once the Indonesia welcome Thai people to go there, right? So to the last one, Doctor, if I would ask you to have a quote to the food and beverage industry for the audience here to adjust, to cope up, to put a proactive approach to the industry for their business, what is your recommendation as the last quote for today's webinar?
Okay, that I think the COVID-19 is we learn more about them. Okay, the COVID-19 is quite as a key of us to understand ourselves. What do you want? If you know already now, what do you want? You have to prepare yourself. Why you have to do and how you have to do it. I think if you learn already, you have to say something unlearn, something you have to relearn, okay? And move on about your way. Trust your mind, okay? And keep going.
And I hope the audience learn from the understanding from consumer study and also the proactive approach that Dr. Pisit shared with us. From our side, Food Ingredient Asia team would like to thank you, Dr. Pisit, for joining us today. And stay tuned with us, all the audience. We're gonna have the next episode, which will cover all the consumer trend by Innova on 23rd of June, and we will send you the invitation. Definitely with the Food Ingredient Asia coming in December, we hope we could bring more knowledge and create the engagement of the community. Stay tuned with us and see you in next webinar. Thank you very much. And our presentation will be posted in Food Ingredient Asia 2020 website. And also you can follow us with the repeat and rerun of the webinar on Facebook Food Ingredient Asia. Thank you very much. ขอบคุณค่ะ